I just want to record a normal one. I feel so defeated. I feel so terrible. I feel so defeated, man. I guess I should mention what happened, right? Because this is a different video. What happened is I got locked out of my system completely because I couldn't type my password and I couldn't type a bunch of keys bunched on the left. Just a section of my keyboard was just chopped off. It just wouldn't work. It is 10 minutes to 2 in the morning, and the whole day today I had a work meeting and I had to work. I wanted to I woke up early, not out of choice, but because I woke up sweating, panicking because the power was out and I was still sleeping, and I have a problem. I overheat very easily. And so there's rashes all over the back of my neck. It's very painful here. I was sweating, my neck, the back of my neck was badly hurting, badly hurting. I was just so like overheated. That's why I woke up, because my body literally woke me up because I was overheating. I needed to get up and go cool down or something. I think I would die if I just kept sleeping. So I think my body woke me up because there was no power, and so I had no air. I had air, but like you get the point. I got no wind. I don't know. Fucking, I couldn't. The fans weren't on. It unbelievably hot. I don't know how often I have not been able to sleep because of the power being out. It was raining. That's why the power was out, by the way. Glad I live in a. It's fine. It's fine. No, we don't have to. I'm just angry. I'm sorry. I'm just angry. And I'm a very bitter, disgusting kind of person, I guess. I'm sorry. I don't listen to me. I guess the only thing that really matters here is just how defeated I feel. So I woke up in this way, right? And then I made me some food. I was like, it's fine. I'll make this. I'll turn this into a good thing. At least I woke up early, and I'm gonna be ready for the day. And so I ate my food and I was resting, and I got a notification that we have a meeting from 12:30 all day today, and you have to attend it. So we were just held hostage in front of our computer. I don't know about the others, but I felt terrible. I had my whole Saturday planned. I wanted to work on videos. How do I do this? How do I I think you need happiness to move forward. It's like I'm at the same place again. The whole reason why I ran away and went to live with my mom was the whole reason why I ran to my mother was that I couldn't do this. And then turns out that was a failure. So I just started working, and now I'm working and I'm making money, making barely anything. Dude, I had a conversation with my friend, the same friend I tell you about, calls me late at night. The only friend that I have, I had a conversation with her. Man, it's seriously, what a difference in our life. My entire monthly salary is like a rounding error to her. She makes so much more money than me. It's amazing because she told me that we talked about our spending, I suppose, and her monthly spending is like very close to all of the amount of money I've been able to save this entire year. That's insane. That is insane. She can spend my entire savings today. Oh no, not today, like this month. She's not that rich, okay? And not that I feel it's fine. I'm very happy about that. I want her to make more money, honestly. That's fantastic. But it seriously seems like it's gonna be years before I make good money. Like if I have to climb up to that level, it's gonna be years before I reach that point. I feel like I don't have that much time. I want a decent adulthood. I don't want to be old before, like, I want to enjoy a couple of years. I have this thought in my head, I guess. I have this thought that 27 is the age, is the cutoff age. Because 26-year-old boy makes sense, right? I mean, maybe he's boyish or something. 26-year-old boy still makes sense. 25-year-old boy makes sense. 24-year-old boy makes sense. 27-year-old boy isn't a thing. You know what I mean? Nobody calls a 27-year-old a boy. That's where your youth ends. 27 is that cutoff point. It's an odd number. It's that number where you're a 27-year-old man. You're not a boy anymore. I can still be considered a boy. I'm 24 right now. I can still be considered a boy. I'm still in my youth. 27 is where that goes away 3 years from now. And I have this thought in my head that if by 27 I'm still struggling to build myself up, well, I didn't have a childhood, and by 27 I'm not like living fine, then I didn't have an adulthood either. And that means that in my pathetic life, I only get to live my old age. And so I feel like I should just kill myself. That's the backup plan that I've decided on. I'm not really just throwing everything, I guess. Maybe I should take it a little bit seriously, because this is just pathetic. This is pathetic. It's wonderful what all of my attempts have given me so far. It's wonderful where it has led me. I have this philosophy also. I have this way of thinking also that most of your suicidal thoughts are just about your mental state. It's not really something that you should pay attention to, and not really something that you should think about. It's not real. It's a parasitic thought that you have that compels you to do things, but that's just because you're sick, you're ill, and you need to, you need to get better. You don't need to listen to it. You need to get better. I have this thought that when you have a fever, if you don't want to eat, you don't feel hungry, but that's just because your body is reacting differently because you're ill. That's why you don't want to eat. Doesn't mean that you should just stop eating. You should keep eating more, even if that means you're going to throw up. You should eat more when you're sick. You should eat more because your body needs more energy. You should fight those thoughts and eat more. You're only thinking that I'm not hungry because you're ill. It's your illness that's making you think that way. And it works the same way with your suicidal thought, that when you are in that state of mind, you are thinking that you want to kill yourself. When you're not going to be in that state of mind, you're not going to think that. And so you shouldn't focus on it. You should move forward. You should fight that thought. You should move forward. It's exactly the same way. Like nobody will tell you that you shouldn't eat when you have a fever and you don't want to eat. No. Fight it. Fight it. Eat fruits. Don't eat processed foods. Don't do that. It's the same thing where if you feel suicidal, doesn't mean you should go to the opposite side and just be like, oh, alcohol all the time because it doesn't matter. It's like, no. You shouldn't go to the opposite side. You should fight that thought and live for sure. But the way I reconcile my thoughts is that if you are serious about your suicidal thoughts or something, you're going to agree with yourself when you're not in that state of mind. And so that's what I have been following. Years ago, 23rd of December, or whenever the fuck I made that video, the first video, I've been thinking about the start of all of this at this point, because it's been 2 years. It has been 2 fucking years. What have I been doing? I'm nowhere. I went nowhere in 2 years. And so where am I going to be in 2 more years? Nowhere, right? That's the projection. And so I've been really thinking about the start of all of this and how far I've come, what I've actually done. And during that time, I really wanted to kill. Obviously, it's pretty obvious. And this was the thought that propelled me forward, that, oh, I should give it my all before I kill myself. I also have this other thought. Oh my God. So I guess we're talking about this now, huh? Okay, fine. Let's talk about this in its full. Let's unpack this fully, okay? Let's talk about suicide, right? Let's talk about who cares? Who cares? I mean, if I'm gonna be gone, this video should exist. I feel like that would make me happy. If I got at least one place to talk about it. When I was 11 years old, there was this one time when my mom and my sister were fighting each other. They were screaming at each other, and they got to this point where, like, my mother was a very disgusting human being, and so she started threatening my sister, who was, mind you, who was like, how old was she? Was she like 4 years older than me? So 11, 15. She was 15. She was 15 years old. So my mother was yelling at a 15-year-old child, telling her that if you don't listen to me, I'm going to, basically the gist of what she was saying was that if you don't listen to me, I'm going to kill myself. And she knew that we both cared about her more than anything else. And so she would use that she would weaponize that to get us to be obedient. And she would mask it like, oh, this is for your own good, obviously, that like all abusive parents do in the world. Uh, Nobody should care about that, but she was yelling at my sister and she was talking about how she's going to kill herself. And so my sister, I guess she's a fighter or something. So she was rebellious against that. And she was like, there's okay. So my mother she was holding a nail clipper against her wrist. And she was like, I'm going to cut my veins with a nail clipper, screaming at my sister, if you don't listen to me. And my sister, as I don't know, rebuttal to that, said that there's a pen in my pencil case that is very sharp, and I'm going to jam it in my wrist. And I, 11-year-old little Nat here, I was listening. And so when they weren't looking once, and my mother made me miserable, I took that pen out. I took that pen out. I sneaked into I wasn't allowed to touch my sister's things. She would kill me if she knew, but I was like, well, I would be, you know. She would kill me if she finds out. Well, I'm gonna beat her to it. So I reached into it, I took out the pen, and I started really pushing it into my wrist. And so that is when that is the I don't know. I don't think that's gonna kill you. I think that's stupid. I failed. Obviously, I just ended up with a deep kind of a hole, not bleeding, but like just a very deep hole on my wrist where I could see my vein or nerve artery, whatever this is. I don't know, but I could see like a hole in that. So that's sort of, I guess, the earliest that I can think of that I've been thinking about killing myself. Before that, I don't think I had the idea. I think I got the idea from my mom and my sister. Uh, but I would have. It's not like it's their fault, obviously. It's like I would have found out. Like I would have known. Even if they didn't tell me about it, even if I didn't know about it from them, I would have known about what suicide is. And since then, I've been basically wanting to kill myself. I'm 24, so that makes that 11 plus 13 years, I guess. I've been wanting to kill myself for 13 years. And when I was 14, I had a girlfriend. I fell in love with her, and that's the only time when my life sort of started to make sense to me. I was like, "Oh, everything's gonna be fine." And then a year later, she dumped me for another guy, and so we were back to square one, past square one in the negative direction. Actually, I was miserable, and after that, everything just sort of derailed. Everything just sort of lost its color. Everything lost its meaning. I have not cared about anything since then, I guess. It's just been stupid. And I've just been locked in this house because of my abusive fucking parents who wouldn't let me do anything. When I was like 20 years old, I talked to my dad about getting a job because he was a broke fuck. He wouldn't give me anything. He would just throw some money on me, I guess. And I would get food out of that. I talked to him about getting a job and he said no. And so 23, I finally was like, well, I mean, this is not going anywhere. So I finally, 22, I went out, lived with my mom, got a job, and he fought me. He fought me. My dad actually tried to get me to lose my job when I got it. And I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm going to live on the street. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to get fired because I don't have a house. That's fine. I am not going to go and tell them that I can't do this. I'm not going to do that. I am going to stay hired as long as I can. And if I get kicked out of the house, that's fine. I will live on the street, and I guess eventually they're going to fire me if I wouldn't have a place to bathe, so I would show up at the workplace like a homeless guy or something. There's no way they would keep that. That didn't happen, fortunately. I wasn't kicked out. But even with this job, it's like I make nothing. I make nothing. And so it feels like, okay, so all that time of all of that, my childhood being completely wasted, and then me reaching this point at 23, now I still have to build myself. So 23, I'm gonna build myself. I'm 24. I've been working for a year. Now I'm gonna build myself in the next how many years? And then I'm going to have. Then I'm gonna start. What the? I feel like I'd feel differently if I had. So back to the thoughts that I just talked about, right? I had this thought that I've thought a lot about suicide, and I think that of course it makes a lot of sense to me that if you are serious about your thoughts on suicide, you will agree with yourself no matter what state of mind you're in. Even if you're depressed, you're gonna think about it. Even if you're not depressed, you're gonna think about it. And so naturally, as a consequence of that, when I was depressed, I tried to do as many things as I can. It's funny because like when you talk to other people about, they're gonna scream at you like, "What the fuck you want me to do? Meditate?" It's like, yeah, that's part of it. You gotta meditate. You gotta fix all of it. That's what I did. I the first step that I took was food, sleep, physical movement, physical activity, etc. Those are the things that I did to get myself out of the horribly delirious, terrible state of mind that I was in. Get to a state of mind where I can get a job. And now I'm just the happy guy. I'm just a sweet guy at the job. And it's like, how long am I going to keep this up? How long am I going to do this? This is so stupid. What am I doing? Where am I going? Now, I'm thinking of moving. I'm thinking that, I mean, I think what I should do is I should just take whatever I have right now and invest it. I looked into investment also. You know how on the last sixth I talked about this? I want one of my income streams to be investments. I didn't know what I was talking about. I looked into it, and with what I looked into, with my limited knowledge, of course, don't listen to me, okay? But what I think is that investments, first of all, I live in India, okay? If there is a way to make money, bro, Indians would be the first one to know about it. Okay, shut the fuck up. Okay, if investments was such a great way to make money, all of India would be investing, not in the fucking day trading. I'm not fucking talking about that. That's garbage. Okay, don't ever fucking do that shit. Obviously, yes, the entirety of India is doing that, but the moronic side of India. Okay, I'm talking about smart people. India is the largest country in the world, which means that you will find everything here. It is like half. It is like 1/3 of the entire world's population, which means you will find every kind of person here. You will find the smartest people in the world in India, and you will find the dumbest people in the world in India, and the dumbest one do day trading. Okay, I'm not talking about that when I talk about investments. Okay, I'm saying if investments is something that I should really care about, Indians would be already on it. And so the fact that I know that the general public, I know no one gives a shit about it. They're making tons of money and they don't care about investing because they actually invest in what makes money. These people know how to make money. They know. And they don't care about the market. They are the market. They are the numbers that people invest in. I think that's so cool. They are those numbers. People invest in their businesses. And so what I have found is that investment is a great way to store the money that you have already made, but it's not a great way to make a lot of money. And so if you want to invest, so basically I looked into the returns that you get, right? Like compound interest. Oh my God, compound interest. You gotta invest because of the compound. Time in the market beats timing the market. I saw like the compound interest, how much you're gonna get with compound interest. None of it beats income sources. Like if you're investing, you should invest in making more income. That's why capitalism makes more sense because you invest in a company, you take the revenue that you got and you invest it back into the operations again, and it spits out more money. You take the money that was generated by the money making machine, you put it back into it, and then it makes more money. And then you put it back into it and you make more money. And then at a point, it reaches a point where you can take a fraction of it, and that's going to be so much that's going to take care of your entire life. So when you look about returns on investment, if you look at compound interest and you just look at like investing in the market and with the best return rate, oh my God, these mutual funds are these mutual fund managers, they know what they're doing. Even if they do, you cannot beat, like you have to account every single thing that you can invest in, not just assets, right? You can invest in a new business, you can invest in the market, You can invest in government securities. You can invest in a new business. That's also part of it. So if you have money, what should you put it towards? Should you put it in the market and then have it compound? You're going to get a decent return out of that, but nothing beats return on investment the way investing in income sources does. You should invest in yourself. Uh, it's cringe to like come back to that, I guess. Oh my God, well, you should invest in yourself, in your heart. Believe in yourself. It's like that's cringe. I don't like that cringe shit. Okay. I'm not talking about that. What I am talking about is that you should invest in making yourself more valuable so that you make more money because there's no better ROI than that. Okay. That's where I should put my money. And so that's why I am putting my money towards moving to another place where I will have more freedom to do whatever I want. That's my thinking. So I am investing, just not in the market. I'm investing in. Does that make sense? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. The whole plan is that I give it my best. So, oh, okay, okay. I had one more thought. One more thought that I want to talk about regarding suicide. I had this thought that because after suicide you don't really experience anything, it doesn't really matter where in your life you kill yourself. Like if I killed myself at 11 back then, it would be the same. Like it doesn't really matter because everything ends afterwards. So it doesn't like it's the same. Me killing myself. I had this, in my poem video of the A Wasted Day. I said that your entire life is just a flash. It doesn't really matter where you kill yourself in that flash. So I feel like it wouldn't matter if I killed myself before trying or if I killed myself after trying. But there's one critical difference. I wouldn't know what would have happened had I not killed myself and instead tried as hard as possible, just did whatever my mind wanted. And so that's what I want to do. I want to suspend my suicidal tendencies. I want to try my best, figure things out. And then after my big attempt fails, and I'm nowhere still. It seems like that's what's happening because I worked so hard on my mind, I worked so hard on my body. I got myself to a point where I can get employed. I made myself employable, and then I got employed, and then I thought, okay, now I'm gonna make my money, and then now I'm gonna do things, and it's like eh, I'm not going anywhere. So it feels like this is a huge failure. It feels like it's failing, but that's the thing. I still got more, right? I'm not out of money yet. I'm not out of money, so I should probably run out of money. I should probably just do like that's the next step on this journey that I started. First, I fixed myself from the bed rotter that I was, from bed rotter to employable, from employable to risk taker, and now that's where I am. And now it's like everything in my body tells me to not do this, to take this money, put in the market, and live in this house where I don't have to pay any rent. But it's so miserable to live here. Not to mention that I don't have full freedom to do whatever I want. Like I can't just cook food whenever I want. I can't just take care of my bodily necessities. I don't have anything over here. And I feel like if I move out, I'm at least going to have a livable place. I don't live at a livable place. I can't show you where I live because it's like I can't do that. I cannot do that. This place is a lot nicer. Like it feels fine to be here. And also I have full control here so I could keep this place clean, but I don't control upstairs. That's controlled by my father, so it's disgusting, obviously. It's disgusting. He's an animal. He's an animal. So I want to move away from the animal and I want to give my life a proper attempt. But that's the thing. I feel like if at 27 I'm still trying, then I can say safely that, yeah, that's a failure. That's a failure. I should just. I wanted to not make videos like this. I wanted to not talk about this because it's so. I wanted to talk about this after I become a billionaire, actually, because then it'd be like, oh my God, wow, this guy's so inspirational. Oh my God. I feel like the world doesn't really want you to talk about this stuff. YouTube wants more cheery shit, more nice things. I'm afraid that because I talk about these kinds of topics, they're gonna flag my channel oh, this guy talks about killing himself. Don't let this, that's not suitable. That's not going to make us money. We can't say that to kids. No, 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 no. We need to get kids addicted. Okay? We make colorful shit. What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't talk about killing yourself. That's not going to bring more kids. Talk about colorful shit. Okay? Talk about like songs and catchy stuff. That's what you got to do. And so I feel like my channel's going to get flagged because of this. But at this point, do I even care? It's been 2 years. I feel like now I should talk about this. Because if not now, then when? When? I'm gonna have so much to talk about when I'm 27. It's like, no, no, no. I'm not gonna leave that much load. It's like, it's whatever. And I feel like when things come together in such a perfect storm of miserableness, like today was a terrible day. It really clears out all the clouds, and you can just see straight to what you really want. And it's like, I don't want to try. I want to kill myself. That is the solution. I'm not in the state of mind. Like I can understand how when I was a bedrotter, I was thinking of killing myself. I can understand that was my state of mind. That was not a genuine thought. But both those exist. Both those have existed in my mind ever since I was 11. It's not just that I was depressed. It's that I feel like I have been a spontaneous generation of some kind. I'm not a person. I'm just a result of these two disgusting monkeys, my father and my mother, fucking each other. I'm just the result of that. I'm not somebody who was brought into this family with love and care. I am not someone who is a person. I don't exist. Oh my God, this is a great time to talk about one more thing. Actually, I know I said I want to talk about one more thing. I want to talk about one more. Okay. When I was a bedrotter, when I made that video called I'm Trying, I looked disgusting in it. At least that's what I think. I think I look disgusting in it. And that's the thing, that back then I couldn't stand the sight of my face. When I looked in the mirror, I saw a horribly contorted, like my nose would look like, and my cheeks would, my face looked like a disgusting, contorted mess. I felt like I am a living tumor. I felt like I am a living tumor. And I don't know what happened. I kept on thinking that about it. It was just on the fact that I looked like that. That's it. I thought I'm the ugliest person in the world. I look like a living tumor. That's what I thought, you know? But then I had some thoughts about it. And I thought about it, and it's like, I've heard that tumors sometimes, like people will have a tumor in their stomach, which would have teeth, because a tumor is just a growth. Your body's cells mutate and start growing. And you can't really control that, because then you would have to stop the growth of your cells, which you can't do in like a targeted section. So you're just going to have to stop the growth of all the cells. So you're going to kill a person. That's the whole thing about tumors and cancers, is that they're part of your body. That's the reason we haven't been able to defeat them, because that bunch of teeth and hair in your stomach, that's going to keep growing, and it's just at the wrong place. That's why it's hurtful, but it's a perfectly healthy part of your body that's just going to grow now. It's just a code corruption. But that's the thing, there's nothing inherently harmful or wrong with it. It's not like the teeth over there are venomous, or the hair over there is splicing you open or something. It's just a tumor that's going to continue to grow, take resources, and it's going to spread everywhere. And that's the thing, that it's not bad, it's not dangerous, it's just not supposed to be there. That's it. And that thought made me feel like, well, then I am a tumor, right? Because my parents don't love me, my family doesn't love me, the world doesn't care about me. And if I didn't exist, it wouldn't really make a difference. So I am, like, from that perspective, I am. I don't think I'm explaining this properly. See, the reason why I mentioned that people have a tumor with teeth on it is that, oh, a tumor can have teeth and hair and skin and flesh. And so, what if I am not a person? I am just a massive tumor with bones, with hair, with lips, and everything just happens to be, it looks like it's in the right place. But I'm not like, how will you differentiate between a person and a tumor that looks like a person? You know what I mean? Like, imagine this growth that's on your stomach is like taken out, but it still keeps growing, you know? And it has teeth and it has hair. But when it grows, it just has the teeth and the hair in the right place where you would expect a person to have it. How will you differentiate between that and a person? It would look like a person, but it's a tumor. The way you would differentiate it is that that tumor would be completely unaccounted for. Nothing would ever want it. It wouldn't have a history. It wouldn't have a life. It wouldn't have any memories. It wouldn't have any achievements. It wouldn't have people. It wouldn't have connections. It wouldn't have a network. It wouldn't have a place in the world. So if you have a person and you want to distinguish between that and an overgrown tumor, like, you know, one of those alternates from that Mandela thing, you know, uh, the way you can differentiate that is that you can ask this person, what about your family? What about your friends? What about your life? Did you go to school? How was that? What happened? You weren't a ghost everywhere, right? Like, you have memories, you have a, a, a footsteps when you look behind you of you and other people that were walking right next to you. If you were a tumor, you would have just your footsteps, because that's the thing. Like, a tumor doesn't have parents. A tumor might come from a person who has parents, but that tumor doesn't have parents. That tumor is completely unloved. That tumor is unaccounted for. It doesn't have a place in this world. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants this tumor. That's how you identify a human that looks like a tumor, and that's me. That describes me pretty well. I am completely replaceable. I have no history. I don't have any childhood like that I can think of. That's me. And so, obviously, I don't like, I hope you'll understand. I am exaggerating a bit. Like, I'm not actually sort of trying to make sense of, I'm not actually convincing you that I am a tumor. No, no, no. I'm a person. I'm a human. That's fine. But it's just it's a fascinating thought that I'm not that much different from an overgrown tumor that happens to have teeth and hair in the right place. I'm not that much different from that. Like, if there was such an entity and we were looking for it, like, oh my God, there are tumors living in our society, there would be suspicion on me. And then they would look, cross check, they would come to my house, they'd be like, oh, this guy has a parent, this guy has a family, and all of that. Like, this guy's fine. We just thought so. We just thought you were a tumor because you're completely unloved. You know, you don't have a trail, you don't have a place in this world, but you're just miserable. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Okay. I don't mean that I am an actual tumor. It's just a thought that I had, which is fascinating and describes me perfectly, describes my life perfectly. And from that perspective, my suicidal thoughts also start to make sense. See, I'm just trying to make sense to you, okay? I'm just trying to appeal to you as much as I can to see that my thoughts aren't just like, I'm trying to convince you that I'm not I'm not just a depressed guy trying to tell you, oh, I want to kill myself because the power was out or something like that. It's not I'm not doing that, okay? I just want you to see my point. I just want you to see that I have logic behind these things, that I'm not just that it's not just a reaction to sadness. It's an actual process, an actual thought process. And I don't know what you're gonna think about it. If you think something about it, tell me. I don't know. I want to hear. I have nobody to talk to. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. What do you think? Do you disagree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm not a tumor? I feel like it'd be hard to disagree. I feel like you would be wrong if you disagree with me. I hope you understand. Like, wrong as in not morally wrong. I'm saying incorrect. You would be incorrect if you disagree with me. You would have some incorrect assumptions about me. I feel like you would be incorrect. But whatever, maybe I'm wrong. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Man, this is going to be linked in a PRA. This is 100% going to be. I'm not going to post this as a naked video all out there. One day I'm going to publish it. One day I'm going to publish it. But this is definitely going to get linked in my PRA. And in the PRA I mentioned, I just got locked out of my system. My keyboard stopped working, and that gave me the fright of my life. If my system is, I'm completely locked out of my system, what am I going to do? Man, that really made me feel like, it made me feel so bad. One of the only things that I like, my beautiful arch, one of the only things that I love so much, just being taken away from me arbitrarily for no reason. It seriously made me reconsider, made me restructure my thoughts a bit. It's not a surprise that I don't want to live. I'm just trying to give it my all before I fully say that, oh yeah, I, I want to be on the other side. Like if I kill myself now, I'd never know what could have happened had I tried. But if I try, it makes sense. Like later on, when I'm at that stage, I can finally say like I tried, and I don't want to try any more than that. I'm done. That this is it. You know. Guess that's all I have to say. See you in another video.